Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and hi. I am Muhamad Iskandar Zulkarnain, number matrix 273427. Today, my partner and I, which is Muhammad Arif, will share with you guys about what is the difference between Marvel and DC. Okay, first, I'm gonna go with some introduction of Marvel. What is Marvel? Marvel actually is an acronym, which is stand for machine assisted realization of the virtual electronic library. Okay, it has been started since 1930s, but at that time its name is not Marvel but Timely Comics. Okay, Marvel already produced 23 movies, which started in 2008 with Iron Man 1 and already and 10 years after that in 2018 with the movie Avengers Endgame. Okay, I think every Marvel's lovers know that in Endgame, Tony Stark or Iron Man already died. Steve Rogers or Captain America also has been old, and I don't think without these two important heroes, the Avengers can be proceed or continue. But I think why the Avengers can attract the people, it's because of these two heroes lah. The Marvels also produced a movie that these two heroes been fighting, which is in the Avengers of Civil War. As we know, in the Civil War, the Iron Man and the Captain America have been fighting because of their past, and the reason why they are fighting is because of the Iron Man's father or Tony Stark's father. Okay, then I think that this movie cannot be proceed or continue because of the presence of Stanley. As we know, Stanley already passed away in 12th of November in 2018. I can say that Stanley is the one that lift up this company and the one that think to illustrate the comics into the movie. Who can think that from the comics it can be illustrated in the movie, and all of us can see what is the content in the comics, even though we didn't read their comics, but we can still feel what is Stanley want to show to us. Okay.
Hello, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Abdul Rahim. Meeting number is 273456. Now I'm going to share about DC movie. DC movie comes from DC Comic. It's known as the king of all comic books. It has been the leader in the industry since it started many years ago. They paved their way with their style and strategies, and many other comic books industry in America followed them, such as the rival of Marvel Comics. The history of DC Comic has gone on to be a huge part of American culture. The DC Comic made a name for themselves in 1939, as they were then founded by Malcolm William Nicholson. During that time, its company was known as National Allied Publications. The initials for DC comic books were taken from the Detective Comic series. Okay, now we proceed to the beginning of DC. Okay, basically DC have many movie before this, but this listing that I researched that make DC turning point in growth in this industry. First, we have Man of Steel in 2013. We have Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice in 2016. We have Suicide Squad in 2016. Okay, this movie was Amanda Waller, who assembled a team of despicable super criminal to send on suicide mission around the world. This movie really interesting and have a jokers and Harley Quinn that will attract more people to watch this movie. Okay, now next we have Wonder Woman in 2017. Justice League in 2017, Aquaman in 2018, and we have a Shazam in 2019. Okay, when we talk about a superhero, our mind will think about action full of fight scene, but this movie is really different, totally different, because this movie come up with other concept. It's a fantasy that's directly entertained. This movie is Billy Batson, granted incredible power by an ancient wizard who entrusts him to be a champion needed to save mankind from an imminent threat. Okay, this movie gives the sweet message that how you choose the family that is around you. This movie suitable to watch with family because of the concept that this movie come up is totally different. Okay, we back to the title for this video. Okay, the point that I want to talk is first is locations. Okay, the world in each superhero story are vital to their protagonists. The reason why the Avenger or Justice League or anyone else keep fighting the good fight day after day is because they are fighting to protect their city, their planet, or their universe. There are distinct differences between the world of DC and Marvel, specifically in whether or not they take place in fictional locations. Okay, for Marvel, the good guys are usually fighting for the city that we know. They are more grounded to reality in that aspect. Asgard aside, we see New York City and Washington DC threatened and destroyed, not some fantasy city. On the other hand, DC generally stick to fictional world for its hero to protect. For the example, we have Metropolis, Gotham are synonymous with its defenders, and the Flash is out there racing around the central city. This allows the character to exist a little further from the reality and can let the Christopher Nolan shoot in the Chicago and Pittsburgh as much as he wants.
Okay, the second point for the differences between Marvel and DC is the gift or the curse of their power. Okay, as we know, how a superhero deals with his or her powers is always a major plot element. In Marvel movies, power usually got treated like a curse, whether in extreme, from altering cases like the Thing and Maggot, or character like Spider-Man. As we know that he's often burdened by his responsibilities, both as heroes and as Peter Parker. We know that even he still students, but he also have responsibilities to save the world. We know that in his age, they should be fun, enjoy their life first before they have been burdened with the responsibilities. Okay, but in the DC universe, their abilities are generally more of a blessing. The characters are called to action and do their best to embrace it. As we know, like Superman, he is like a godlike in his movies. Batman also, like the people who can save the Gotham peoples. Even we know that Batman doesn't have his own power, but with his intelligence and his machine, he can save the Gotham's people. Unlike Superman, he has power like how to fly. He can laser from his eyes. That's why he got a blessing from the peoples. He also have his own statue in the movies. But this also has something to do with where their power come from in the first place.
Okay, the other point that I want to explain is the tone of their films. In the other hand of Christopher Nolan and Zack Snyder, the DC film as of late tend to be extremely gritty and moody. Sure that some humor prepared in, but their successful film are darker than the Marvel counterpart, although that might change with Suicide Squad. In contrast, Marvel characters easily lend themselves to the humor. Deadpool and Guardian of the Galaxy prove that could have a superhero movie that doesn't take itself too seriously and could be classified as a comedy first and foremost. Okay. You also have the king of witty geek humor, Joss Whedon, behind the first two Avengers. While no one can definitely say that one comic is better than the other one.
Okay, the next point is how they got their powers. The origin story is a critical part of every superhero's journey, regardless of comic book universe. It's what set them on the path to use their powers for good over evil. In DC, many characters are born with their abilities or developed at a young age. It's something they live with an inherent part of their identities. Superman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman never had a radioactive spider bite them or a barrel of radioactive waste to transform them. Even those who come to their powers by accident, like the Flash and the Green Lantern, or are inspired to take up the cause out of their of thirst for justice, like Green Arrow and Batman, are still treated as godlike figures, and it doesn't get more godlike than Mr. Manhattan, who actually decides to become a god at the end of the Watchmen. Okay, on the other hand, the Marvel Folks usually go through freak occurrences to become superheroes. As we know, how Spider-Man or Peter Parker got his power when he's got bitten by the radioactive spider. Then Dr. Banner, who suffered with the gamma reaction before he transformed to Hulk, and Black Widow, as we know how her past story before she became the Black Widow. Okay, as a conclusion that I can give is both of the story already is interesting. DC has its own powerful, and Marvel also has their kind of attraction. Both of them are actually interesting because we know that this story is fiction and anything can happen in this story, but also they have a sense of humanity also. What I can say here is cintailah DC, sayangilah Marvel. Okay, that's all from us. Thank you.